There has been many a time in my life where I have been simply existing and my brain has been moving fast. I'm sure that this is a relatable story. My brain has been moving fast and I have wanted something in my hands. That's the wrong slide. Hold on. Spoilers. And I've wanted something in my hands to move as fast as my brain was going. And I always thought to myself, man, wouldn't it be cool if I had something or some things in easy reach to be able to satisfy me this craving? For it may result in me focusing or working better in whatever I've been doing. Now I have one cube. I have one fidget cube, and if you know anything about fidget cubes, you know that they are small, and my one is small, and I lose it all the time. I lose it all the time. I forget to take it with me when I go out and I might need it. Um, a big problem for me when I need things in a jiffy. And then I remember this has happened a couple times, honestly. Like honestly, actually, I remember that I am a Kamen Rider fan, and as a Kamen Rider fan, I own several of the transformation devices as in toy form, and basic kid toy form. And I always think, that honestly, legitimately, like they're built around like parts that you handle and move with your hands, right? So surely they must be good to satisfy this fidget craving. And they have. I have several of them. I have a couple from throughout the years, throughout the decades, even. And some of them are better than others. I will tell you that now. And so I always keep gravitating towards a certain few that I have. And it got me thinking. It'd be interesting to find out how that kind of scales to the whole toy line through all the decades, except for Showa, because that's the one thing. So today I have come with a 100% definitive ranking, according to my opinion, of Kamen Rider toys and their effectiveness as fidget toys. I will be using the first-hand experience. I've got a Sentai toy here, so we're not going to talk about it. But I have a Q Ranger orb that I'm playing with. You can hear that. Just so I'm not, just so you know that I'm not a hypocrite. That I have actual proof that I've used and I'm using similar apparatus for this function. I've taken this with me. I've taken this out with me to Dungeons and Dragons and stuff before. I've also left this at various points around my place of residence because I also forget to take it with me. Just find it on a table somewhere. But that's beside the point. I'm not a hypocrite. I've used these before. I use these currently. And I want to rank them. I want to sort my own thoughts out is the main thing. And what better way than to have it broadcast out on the internet in case I or anyone else, for whatever fucking reason, would like to refer to it. So, that's what we're doing. Simply put, we're ranking Kamen Rider toys in their effectiveness in their effectiveness of being fidget toys. Now, obviously we can't just say good bad because this is my opinion, of course, but we need to have some sort of professionalism about this. I've put together a whole slideshow and everything. You can't just expect me to bust out the good. This is good. This is bad. So, according to my tastes and my opinions, I've put together some criteria in terms of what I think makes a good fidget toy. Here they are. And I'm going to explain these in a bit more detail because they are pretty vague. And they might not seem pretty, like they might seem pretty obvious at first glance, but there are definitely some things that I want to elaborate on, right? So first thing, range of movement. Now for me, I could just get something with a button, right? Like I could just get something like, you know, those like popping, like the sheets of like the bubble, you know what I mean? Like the multicolored plastic thing that you like pop like one way or the other, right? Like they exist. I own one of them as well. I don't really like it that often because it is just a button. And I don't know about you, but I have more than one finger and two thumbs. And while, you know, I'm able to use, I guess I am able to use all fingers, but like, that's just so big. You have to like hold them in both hands as well. Like you have to hold them in both hands and you use your two thumbs, right? That's not really what I want. I want something that can move, slide, turn. You know, I want to be able to see a change of physical state within the toy that I'm using. Whether that be, you know, the main purpose of the toy or not. I like to see something move and I like to see it snap, which is the second criteria, as you can see. So what I like in a fidget toy is resistance, basically. And I like something that not necessarily need to put in effort to move, but something that basically has a state of rest, that something that can be snapped into, like something, there's a click. There's like for this toy, for instance, it has a default state. I can take the state off. I can turn it around. You can hear that ASMR. And then I can just like snap it into place. And that's its default state again. And I can do this all the time. And that's how I... Like that's good to me. That's good to my brain. That's good to my fingers. So that snappiness. And I can tell that a lot of these toys, are based around putting something into something else. And that's already kind of a snap that you look for. But also sometimes they're not. So I want something, you know, with resistance, something that fits, a part that fits into another part, I guess, is kind of one way of looking at it. But we'll get into that because obviously there's other ways of looking into that as well. Now, when I talk about accessibility, this basically, you know, refers to ease of use. And there are several sort of things to consider within this sort of larger category. First, very obvious thing is like size. These are children's toys. And last time I checked, I am an adult. God help me. And so some of these are kind of gonna be a lot easier to handle than some others that have maybe that, you know, are built for children. But I honestly don't see that being I don't see that necessarily being a big problem initially because, you know, us adults have bought these for a reason. I like to fucking whenever I get a new belt, I bust out of it and RP is fucking the main guy, like, constantly. Oh, I don't have any BGM. Shit. Sorry. Give me 1 fucking second. I'm a professional streamer. Do you know I did this for, like... There we go. Hopefully that's, good. Where the fuck was I? Yes, size. Size is big. Some are better than others, but... we'll see. We'll see how it go. I also want to talk about, like, general hand feel. General hand feel and sort of, like, setup. And how little you need to change your default sort of grip. Like, some of these, I anticipate to be a bit like finicky and need some like a higher level of, I guess, contortion of the fingers, I guess is an easier way to say it. So something that like is natural, feels natural to hold, and feels not, you don't need to necessarily put in effort. Like a lot of the time, like fidget toys are meant to keep your brain occupied, or keep your hands occupied while your brain works. And you know, you don't want to put more effort into the hands than you are in the brain, because otherwise that defeats the point of it, right? So you want it to be easy enough that you don't need to think about it as you're using it, I guess is the best way of putting accessibility as a whole, really. Just like how easy it is to use, given the context. Now, noise is sort of a nuanced one. Part of it goes into the snappiness, because I think what makes a good snap is the noise that it makes. And I think other snappiness enjoyers would agree with me. So that is part of it. I like it to be satisfying. At the same time, I don't want it to be like fucking noisy, right? Especially since a lot of these have electronics in them. A lot of these have speakers in them. And that is definitely going to have to be taken into account. A lot of these have, or some of these I've going through them sort of remembering the legacy of the toy line. A lot of these have like motorized parts, and things that like large things that like spin or click open. So it's a balance. We need to find a balance between like satisfying and not obnoxious, right? Obnoxiousness is also, I think, feeding into this last category of discreetness, right? Like I said, I take my Q Ranger toy out with me sometimes. And there are other people in real life who might not understand necessarily what the hell I'm doing with this kid's toy, right? And the less that I would like to get those people. Let me rephrase that. I would like to not need to, I don't want eyes on me, right? When I'm plagued with the toy. I've written down how quote unquote normal people would look at you if they saw you using it. And I know that's kind of a fucked up thing to say. Like that's not really good vocabulary, but for lack of a better term, I don't want to remove exactly. I don't want to be perceived as a child. you know what I mean. So that's kind of the thing. We're going to talk about these a lot more in depth in terms of, you know, in context. There are definitely things that kind of slip past these or slip in between some of the things, but we'll get to that. So let's talk about how we're going to do this. So I'm only going to be focusing on, because there's a lot of fucking seasons, right? So only the primary rider's device first up, and the DX toy line. This is the basic, if you want to buy the belt, this is the one you get, right? No CSM shit, no, you know, re-releases, no decade belts with the fucking like 70,000 decks of cards that you can put into it. Main toy, and mainly what comes in the box. So whether that just be, you know, the belt itself, or just like the first thing, the first upgrade. We don't want anything else, because that introduces a whole lot of more mechanics that we don't need to worry about. I don't want to spend more money to, you know, keep myself focused. I already spent so much. They go for like, I looked at even like a couple of years ago, these belts are now ranging from anywhere from between like $90 to $200. I think when I bought my belts new, they were around the 90, 100 mark, but I guess they really only just go up, because I guess they stopped producing them after the series, or like around after the series ends, which is kind of shit, because I want some fucking belts so bad, honestly. No Showa riders. a lot of this is just the main thing. I don't even know if they melt. I don't even know if the DX line did show up. I don't know if it's been around that much, but that's basically just a belt, right? Motorized belt. So that's the rule. We're going to go through each season of from Cougar all the way up to Gav. And that's what we're doing. I considered doing like, you know, Amazons and Black Sun and all of that stuff, but that's too much. That's too much for me right now. So what we're going to do is I have a playlist set up of demos of all of the toys, all of the main toys. And we're going to rank each of these categories out of 5. So a maximum score of 25 for each toy. And then off screen, I'm going to like plug everything into an Excel sheet or something and we'll reveal the top 3. So let's go. Let's get into it. 1 second. Let's start. Everyone's favorite boy, Kamen Rider Cougar. This, obviously, clearly, there's not a lot going on here. It's one big bulky piece. This is probably, I think, the bulkiest. Not the bulkiest, but the bulkiest in terms of, like, this goes all the way to the sides. Hold on 1 sec. I want to do something. 1 second. There we go. I want to point at things. You see my cursor? You can. This goes all the way to the sides, right? I don't think that there's a whole lot of other belts that do this. Mainly because I know that there's a button here that you press that's like the main transformation thing. So I doubt that this is going to get a lot of good scores straight up. HAL 9, yeah, basically. This is what that's like the classic look. Big red button in the middle. Let's have a look at how it works, shall we? Okay, so I have this, and then we do this. Good, very awesome. I turn this down. Turn this down for now. Let's have a look. Hopefully that's loud enough. Not too loud. Welcome to Cougar. I haven't seen this show. Apparently it's good. Give me the belt. Okay. What do we got? Okay, you click it on. This is already, I can tell, not going to be very good for noise. What the fuck is it doing? Oh my god. That is just one whole red light. Blue light. That is a motorized part. That's what I mean, it's cool, but I can tell this is going to be much of the same, I think. Yep, okay. It goes spin. I don't know if we need to keep watching anything else. It's just lights and spin, I guess. Lights, spin, and buttons. I'm noticing... Hold on. Can we enhance? Okay, those buttons don't look very snappy at all, I don't think. They seem like this one in the corner definitely seems like spring attached. You know, those really like cheap ones. So probably not very snappy, I wouldn't say. Why is my tracking gone to shit? Hold on. No, okay, maybe not. Okay, I think we've seen enough. I think we get the idea. I think we get the fucking idea. Let's have some write-ups. Okay. So in my opinion, just give me 1 second, actually. I'm gonna disappear for a second. Am I good? Well, bam. Okay. Let's talk. Range of movement is a fucking 0. They're buttons, buttons on the side, buttons on the front. Nothing moves. You just press. So range of movement, that's a 0. Snappiness. Well, you can't really tell when they're that far away, like the buttons are that far away. I'm inclined to say 0. 0 or 1, because I don't know. Look, I'm gonna say they looked pretty cheap and I did not hear anything in the video, so I'm gonna give it a 0. Accessibility, big fat 0. Look at how bulky this thing is. You need to wear it on your fucking abdomen. That is not something that is easy for this context. Noise, also 0. We're starting out real bad. We're starting out super real bad. That's fine. We can only go up from here. Discreteness is also a 0. I feel like this is the absolute pinnacle of early 2000s fucking bulky bullshit is what I'll call it. R.I.P. Cougar. I'm sure you are a good show. I've heard many good things about you. There's this one scene. There's that famous scene where he just like, where he wrestles one of the bad guys, one of the foot soldiers, one of the monsters of the week, and just starts literally just like beating the shit out of his, like, out of his face. He like pins him down, beats the shit out of his head, and that shot lingers for like a minute of him just wailing on this guy, because he like hurt children or something. Apparently it's good. I've had Toku veterans on my Twitter timeline say that it's good, so it must be good. We have a good baseline, can only go up. Let's go. Agito. Not a lot of difference, it looks like. Not a lot of difference. Because this is technically kind of not a sequel to Kuga. Same universe, apparently. I got like halfway through Agito, and then I got halfway through a lot of these, or like partway through a lot of these, and then dropped them. I liked Agito though. Cool vibes. Agito's altering. Obviously, you can see sort of a resemblance here, but never mind the resemblance. Let's go to the video. If I may set it up. Cougar 2, now there's gold on the belt. Pretty much. There's gold on the belt and gold on the suit. Look at that. Look at those antlers. Bug boy. This is when they were still like actual bugs. Cut to the video. Oh my god. Go away. No, not yet. Okay. Bring me the belt. Give me the belt. Where are you? There you are. Well, we've seen this before. Okay, 2 buttons on the side. Pressed out once. I feel like that's the whole thing. I feel like this is it. This is this is just the thing. This is just how it works. If I'm not mistaken. Yep. Okay. Belt. Okay. Cool. Yep. All right. Same fucking shit, I guess. Same fucking shit, same fucking bullshit. Okay. I feel like that this is also just going to be 0s across the board. Range, definitely not. I guess the belt's red now. That's fun. Snappiness. Actually, hold on. When he hit the sides of the thing... When you hit the sides of the thing... Not really. It's, yeah, it's pretty much just Cougar 2. I feel like. Unfortunate. I feel like that turbine in the front is also a lot louder. So that doesn't bode well. Not that you can get like a negative score on this. Yeah, snappiness, I couldn't hear any snap. Accessibility, also bad. Noise, very much bad. I'd give it a -1 if I could. Discreetness, also very much bad. I took a... Here's a cursed memory. I took a belt to school once. I took a Kamen Rider belt to school. Put it on in the middle of the fucking courtyard. Hold on. Put it on in the middle of the fucking courtyard. I didn't know people... Like, I probably knew people were looking at me. I didn't care. Low volume, can't hear the belts. Let me fix that. It should... I'm gonna play something else here. Whoa, what the fuck? Is that hearable? Do I have monitoring on? Oh, hold on. How's that? How's that now? Yeah, okay. I had it switched to... you need to fucking... Is that loud? Is that too loud now? I guess that wasn't really the belt. I'll turn it down. No, you're alright. I had it set to... I didn't have it set to audio track 1 on OBS. Rookie mistake. Okay, bad. Agato bad. Sorry. You tried your best. Okay, next one. Kamen Rider Ryuki. This is the first time where we have thing put in other thing to transform. So this is already kind of going to be a step up, I feel like. We have cards. This is the first card-based season. Card deck. I never really thought about using cards. I guess you need 2 hands unless you're skilled. But I guess like shuffling cards is a fun fidget thing. But I don't know. We'll see. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of cards. It is cool, I will say, that how you get 3 decks for the price of 1 belt. That's neither here nor there. Let's cut to the video. Yes. Also, I've had the background music down this whole time. That's fine. We're listening to stuff anyway. It says play your own music though, so I might try and turn it up a little bit. It's fun. All right, Ryuki, what have we got? Very fun. Card in thing. Ooh. That's something. Oh, look at that snap. Listen to that fucking snap. And then slides into the thing. Score ability. We've got points. We've already got some points at least. Okay, then I think it's just more of the same with the other guys. Yeah. Okay. I want to go back to this. Slot it in. Whoa! Let's fucking go. Okay. We've seen all we need to see. Talk about range of movement. You do have an opening and closing of things. I would argue that for the purpose of multitasking, I would say that opening and closing something is on the sort of weaker side. However, it's the most range in a toy that we've seen so far out of all 3 of them. So I am inclined to give that possibly a 2 or a 3. I'm going to give it a 3 because cards are still pretty small. But you do kind of have to, you know, I guess opening and closing is a type of movement that I would not say is the most top tier kind of movement, but it is still definitely kind of movement. And it is still, definitely still, yeah, movement. Snappiness, I think it's his biggest strength. I am going to give it, I think I'm going to give it a 4. Because I don't know if there's a latch, that's a different story. But I think you just close it. Like, I think it snaps, but it doesn't necessarily, like, latch shut. So for that, I'll give it a 4, I think. Because it makes the snap, at least. Let's already go down to noise. I'm going to give it a 3, because it is a good noise. You do have to kind of not force it down, but there is a lot of motion that you need to apply to make it get good, I feel like. Accessibility, I think I'm gonna give it, I'll give it a 2. I think baseline cards are gonna be like a 3 from now on. A 3 accessibility, because they are things that people do use their hands with. However, you know, bringing out a deck of cards in public, or just bringing out a deck of cards to play with your fingers still seems a bit tedious. And also down to a 2 because, like, again, in terms of hand feel and in terms of, like, ease of use, you need to get pretty good with your, like, you know, one of your fingers, like, flicking it up and flicking it closed. So that's kind of, it takes some, I feel like there's a bit of a skill ceiling, which is not something you want to hear for something that's meant to relax you, you know. Discreetness, I think I'm going to give it a 2 also, because of the same reason. Cards are cool. Cards, I think, for discreetness, I think cards would be a 4. Because you have phones, right? And they're, like, practically card-sized. People don't bat an eye if you're carrying something like that around. So I think cards are fine to carry in public if it's just a couple of them, even, at least. Especially if it's just a couple of them. Like 3 of them, per se. But again, it gets bumped down because shells. You have shells of card holders. Also, we're not talking about the belt. The belt doesn't serve us any purpose here. When there's gimmicks, it'll probably just be about the gimmicks, you know. Like, putting in the belt is fine and snappy and stuff, but again, you need to be wearing that shit. No one wants to be wearing that shit. Unless, I mean, there are a couple of times where I've just, like, put on one of my belts because I like the pressure around my waist. But that is a very specific situation in which I am, you know, at home at my computer, maybe working on something, maybe just trying to relax, and just, you know, compression good. Pressure is good for relaxation in some people, including me. So that's what that is. I don't think that's necessarily a fidget thing. Feel good doesn't always necessarily mean fidget. Anyway, Ryuki has some points. It's got some stuff, which is good. We're going up from here. Next, Kamen Rider Fies. Now remember what I said literally 2 seconds ago about phones. We get it. This is a phone, straight up. Okay. Let's have a look. Let me load it up. Again, we're playing our own music. Some of these videos were all by the same person. Just I thought I'd do that for consistency's sake, but a lot of the later ones are very different in terms of production, which is weird, but we'll get there. I can't remember what I said about buttons. Not necessarily... That part's pretty cool. But again... It is straight up just a phone. This was also 2000 and... I think Cougar was 2000. Like, on the dot. Maybe 2000, 2001. So this is around 2004. That's when, like... Oh, hold on. Wait, what was that? Oh, that's fun. That's snappy. You may need to use two hands, though. Okay, we don't need to look at gun. Anything else you got for us? That's bad noise. This one is cool, actually. I remember the first time I saw this in a Henshin compilation. I'm like, this is the most satisfying. Like, phone in belt. I know it's probably not gonna... Like, phone in belt is probably not gonna score very much, but like, phone in belt as a concept. Down and then twist. When I saw that for the first time, I was like, this... Watching this does good things to my brain. For sure. I think we've seen enough that we can talk about it. Okay, range of movement. I think in terms of fidgetiness, I think its strong suit is when you like crack it, turns into the gun. So for that, I think it's a small range, but it's also a fidget toy, right? So I think for range, I'm gonna give it... I'm gonna give it a 4. Because that kind of like knock to the side is kind of... I like... I think that's fine. But I'm knocking it down just because it is still kind of a big toy. You know, I mean, I know that's not really, that's more of an accessibility thing, but big toy also kind of means like a sort of bulkiness in terms of its like how much that it can move and how much that it needs you to move. I don't know. I hope that makes sense, but like, I feel like in terms of size versus movement, there are better ratios, I think. Snappiness, that fucking snap when you twist it, top tier, I reckon. I don't think there's anything that needs to be said more about that. I like it a lot. Accessibility, like I said, it is a phone. That's gonna be fun when we get into discrete. But accessibility, it is a phone. You can hold it in your hand. It is designed to be held in your hand. I guess even like flicking it up and down. I don't know how much resistance it has though, but you know, accessibility, it is a phone. It is a phone. It does have buttons. That is a kind of, I know I said I don't like buttons, but like I guess this is a good example of like a toy with more than one way of fidgeting with it. So that's cool. I guess that gives it points as well. Accessibility, I think I'll give it a 3. Because it's a phone, it's still kind of big, but it is a phone, and it has multiple ways of use. In terms of noise, it did make big beep boops. And I don't know if this is one of the ones. Some of the ones I think later even. the electronics you can't turn off. Like I know in like the double driver and like the XA driver, you can't turn that shit off. I don't know if that's what this one is, but either way, the noise only comes up when you're pressing the buttons. And the snappy noise is pretty standard. I'm gonna give noise a 2. Not too bad. Well, I guess not too good, but still kind of bad because you get voices and beeps and noises, but that's fine. Discreet, I am gonna also give it I'm gonna give it a 2.5. This is our first middle of the ground, which I wasn't planning to do ever. But it is a phone. If you have this phone in real life, you're gonna get some looks. But also it is a phone. This is a very special case, I think, just because of the society that we live in. And everyone has one of these, not one of these, but you know what I mean. I think that I'm happy with these ratings. I'm happy with these ratings. I love how of the many functions that it has, a lot of these have to do with a single one. But that's fine. Congrats. Is that our biggest? Is that more than... It might be more than Ryuki. We keep going. Blade. This one's gonna be interesting because this one does snap, I'm aware of. But I don't know how accessible it is. Let's have a look. Let's have it a look. I gotta skip the ad every single time. Play your own music. My guy's got an intro now. Okay, card in thing. Press button, make my... Whoa. I have mixed feelings about that. That is basically the whole thing as well. Okay. Yeah, it's good, right? It's fun. Oh, that's bright. We don't need that. Okay, I have mixed feelings about this. I think for a novelty, I think that I'm gonna give the range. This might seem blasphemous. I'm gonna give the range a 5 out of 5. Because anything that makes a sort of 180 or 360 degree rotation, for me, is like the most satisfying range of movement ever. Right? Because you get a whole thing, you get a start and an end, right? I like that. I'm giving that a 5 out of 5. First 5, I think it might be. No, Fi's had 5 snappiness. Fi's had 5. 5, 5, 5. 5, 5. This is a strong 5 out of 5 though. Actually, because I like this better than Ryuki. Oh, what was it? Fi's? I'm gonna give this a 4.5 instead out of 5. Because I like this a lot better. I think this deserves more because of the revolution rule. Sorry, Fi's, but you're washed up. Snappiness. You lose the 5. Well, the thing about Fi's is that it's also technically it's stylized as this. I guess I could keep that because that's more accurate. That's how it's stylized in romanization, but that's neither here nor there. Snappiness, I think I will also give it maybe a 4. Well, actually no, because I'm thinking of noise, but that noise is also... we'll jump around. Noise, I'm gonna give it a 1 because that shit was fucking loud when you turn it around, right? That shit was like... It was a whole like thing in a thing, you know what I mean? Also the beeps, but... Like that triggered the compression of the microphone so much. So noise, I'm giving it a 1. I'm giving it a 1 because, you know, it's still a snappy noise, but it's so fucking loud. Accessibility, I'm giving it a 1 as well, because if this was me and I say, oh, I'm going to use the blade buckle, I'm going to use the blade buckle to play around with, I'm literally probably, and this has happened before, I will literally probably just take the card and play with the card, and I will like bend and rip the card within an hour, right? I'm gonna make creases in the card, it's gonna be fold up, it's gonna be garbage, I'm not gonna be able to put it in the belt anymore. I'm gonna absolutely destroy it. So I'm giving it accessibility because I can use it. The card itself I can use, but it is a one-time use fidget toy, which is not what you want. Discreteness, I think I will also give it, I'll give it a 1 for the card. I'll give it a 1 for the card, but considering the card's not the main thing, that belt is fucking huge and loud and bulky. So that's gonna be a 1 out of 5. Okay, that's good for me. All right, the first and only question mark? Non-belt transformation device. Hibiki's tuning fork. Fun fact about Hibiki. Originally not meant to be a Kamen Rider show. And then something happened and now it was. This is why this guy don't have eyes. It's like Oni themed, which is pretty cool. It's like Oni and music themed. But is very much like a departure from what we know as Kamen Rider. But we'll have a look. We'll have a look at what this toy does. I can already kind of guess what its strengths and weaknesses are going to be, but we'll have a look. Ad breaks, ads on the YouTube video. Okay. Sorry, I was drinking. I would have fast forwarded that. One thing about Hibiki, it does sound like it slaps. The setting is very good. The thing about Hibiki is that it did change writers about 3/4, I think, of the way through the show, and it got bad. The new writers, the story just took a completely different direction, and I think from what I've seen, it's a pretty unanimous decision that the end of Hibiki is utter bullshit garbage, which is such a shame because the first part of it up until that point is apparently really, really good. And it was disappointing. That's neither here nor there though. Pour one out for Hibiki. They just turned that on, right? That has an on switch? Yes, it does. Eyes light up, that's fun. Okay. Okay. One-handed. We like to see that. Then you tap it. You tap it and then you squeeze it. Okay, I think... What is this? What the fuck? I don't know what this is. Because I haven't seen the show, because I've been scared for it to be bad. Okay, I think... Oh, robot. What the fuck? Alright, that's just fun video time. Yes, it does make that noise. It is cool. It is cool. I like the idea. Okay, I think this is gonna be pretty up there, considering it is not a belt. I think, guys, I think for the purposes of this stream, I'm gonna keep going, but I think this might just win. I I think this might just win because it's a good handle. Okay, yeah, range. Noise, I'm gonna give it, maybe noise, I'll give it a 3. And discreet, I'll give it a 2. Or discreet, I'll give it a 1 because it does kind of look like a weapon, is the thing. If you like hold it up to someone, it's literally like a fork. So maybe that's not great to have out in public. But I guess it is still small enough to hold in a hand. Range 5. That thing snapping up is very good. Snappiness, same thing. Accessibility. How big did it look in this guy's hand? He is kind of clawing it. He is holding it with like 2 fingers. So maybe that's a bit of a, hold on. That is a bit of a not an ideal grip. But you know, that's a price we have to pay. So accessibility, I'll give it a 3, because you can still hold it. Good numbers, good numbers, good job, Hibiki. You've made up for how bad the end of your show was. Good numbers. Look at these numbers. Okay, everyone's favorite boy, Kabuto. This one's gonna be fun. This is a whole beetle. Oh, this does have a lever though, so this might also be pretty good as well. We'll see. Hold for ads, hold for YouTube ads. Lord of the Rings cartoon. Oh, this one has music. I'll turn down this. Is that music loud or not? I'll keep it running for that. I'm sure it'll stop actually when we start to get to the thing. Yeah, okay, I'll just skip ahead, I guess. Whoop, I missed it. Volume good, okay, cool. And shit, you put the thing in the thing. Okay, this is what is good. Yeah, okay, snap 5 out of 5. That snap. You even got the build up to it? Yeah, lad. Change beetle. So true, my guy. Okay. That is a good snap. 5 out of 5 snap, straight up. Range. This is kind of a... Okay. I'm going to contradict myself. I realize I'm going to contradict myself many times throughout the course of this. Because I know I said I liked 360, 180 sort of revolutions. And this kind of, I feel like, does consist of a 180. Because you're pulling something from one side to the other. I am going to give it... I think I'm going to give this a 4. 4? Yeah, okay. 4. Because... Oh my god. Screen. 4 because... There's a lot of resistance. There's a lot of, like, I guess the snap is good, and because the snap is so good, I'm taking the points away from the level of resistance and putting it into a range of motion. Just because there's a lot of range of motion, especially, I think, no, well, you know what it is? Yes, it's a 180, but the arc is so large, right? You need to go from one end, like, this extends like half the size of the actual beetle itself out to the side, right? So that arc all the way to the other side, that's what I think takes the point away. Now that I think about it, I think I'm going to give it a 3, since I'm complaining about that so much. I think that's good. I'm happy with those. Accessibility. You do... The beetle is kind of made to be held in a hand, in like one hand to put it in. that being said, it is kind of a chunky thing to hold in your hand. So I think I'm going to give this a 3. In terms of function versus form. Good function, bad form. For accessibility. Noise, it's a bit loud. Like the snap is good, but I think the bad thing about the big snap is that it's also a big loud. So I'm gonna give this maybe a 2. And also, you know, it goes change beetle, which is cool in the moment. Like when you're watching the series, it's pretty hype, but I think it does. I think it gives it a low score. Discreetness, absolutely fucking not. Imagine walking around the city with this fucking beetle. you'd think you'd be going to a convention or something. Yeah. This makes sense. I think this is good. This is good. It makes sense. Let's keep going. Fucking Den-O. Look at how many parts this thing has. This is a train one. This is a train. It's got like a... Like you put it in the train pass and then you tap it to the... It's like a... like Opal card core. We'll give it a shot. We'll have a look. Jesus, correct. Why? You fucking go away. Can you tell that I was trying to figure things out beforehand? Into my BGM back up. I've got my BGM set to my phone is just directly plugged into my mixer, so I can just turn a knob to turn the background music up and down. It's pretty good. What are you doing, Den-O? I'm gonna actually get to where he starts making the belt move. Okay. Let's go. Okay. Oh, okay, okay. The thing about this belt, I'm realizing now, is that the noise category for this, I think this video might be actually quieter than the rest. So I guess we'll bump that up a little bit. Because it's like train themed, and you know, it's kind of common knowledge that like the Japanese train system has like cool little jingles for each of their like stations. That extends to here, so for each form there's a really fun little jingle, and I think that's gonna factor into the noise category, even though that's not really what we're talking about when it comes to noise. But just have a listen. Have a listen to this. I'm gonna turn. Not this shit, not the mechanical shit. Just wait till they press the buttons. Listen to how fun that is? That's so fun. Den-O is a really cool concept. Den-O, for whatever reason, got like a billion spin-offs. And it's also known because his, the main actor, whose name I do not remember, but I will look up right now because I want to. I want to appear that I know what I'm doing. Basically, his actor got like huge after the show. And has returned to the show once for like a 5-second cameo. Den-O actor. Takeru Sato got like pretty big afterwards, from what I remember. Yeah, I'm looking at his like list of movies that they give you on Google, and it's like very serious looking like drama films. He did Rurouni Kenshin as well. He was he's the titular character in Rurouni Kenshin, even though we don't like to speak of that series. And he's been in a bunch of other stuff. And then you just see fucking Den-O in his suit just amongst the sea of serious stuff, and it's just so funny. But we will keep listening to these jingles because they're fun. So pretty. And there's just a bunch of like train noises. Ooh, hello. Hello. Train noises. Okay. Cool. We've seen enough that we can talk about this. Range of motion. There's not really a whole lot of moving parts after you snap close the thing there. So that's kind of a Ryuki. Similar to Ryuki. What do we give Ryuki? Hold on. I'll just copy and paste it. 3 out of 5? I'm tempted to give it lower than that. Because this seems a lot more... like it's got an empty back, right? So that's probably a lot less of the emphasis is on that. So I'm going to give that a 2. But other than that, it's all just like I said, it's Opal card core, right? You tap a thing to a thing and that's how it works. Snappiness, I think, is also the same thing. I think, yeah, okay. Snappiness. Honestly, all of these, I think, are going to get 2. Except for noise, because I like the jingle so much, so it's getting 3. I like the jingle so much because it's getting 3, but it's still not getting a 4 or 5 because for the purposes of a fidget toy, that shit is not helpful at all. If anything, that's like the jingles are cool, but then the train noises that come after that are going to be much more distracting than than helpful. 2 seem fair. Yeah. Thank you for... I'm glad that I'm making sense. Okay. Awesome. Kamen Rider Kiva. This is going to be fun for me because of a specific thing that I like to do. But we will check the footage first. Kamen Rider Kiva is a vampire themed series. Also kind of bad, I think. I think it was like there was some problematic writing in it or something like that. He is just a little guy. Hold on, okay. We'll look at this and then there's some fun lore, some fun behind the scenes stuff that I want to, I keep forgetting to put the fucking BGM back on. Oh my god. I hope this doesn't have music. Yeah, alright. The fucking hand movement. Yeah, and then he drops onto the thing. So he is a guy. That's the whole belt. Okay, I'm gonna get my trivia right, first of all. That was my trivia machine. Which is just my phone. It does hang upside down like a bat. So it's something, again, fun about his voice actor. I think he is like prolific for a billion other like more serious things. Give me a second. He's best known for his role as, I don't know much about Gintama, but he's Gintoki Sakata in Gintama. He's in Assassination Classroom. Oh, he's fucking Joseph Joestar, apparently. That's fun. Yeah, this guy's, big. Oh, he's Yusuke in P5. That's fun. And he's also a little bat in Kiva. We don't need to keep going. Yeah. You know this dude, yeah. He's a bat he's a little bat in Kamen Rider. I want to talk about something that I also used to do for Fidget that's maybe not the best for me, is I will just kind of take bulldog clips and like clothes pegs and crush my fingers with them. I would just, it's something to do with like, you know, again, it's more of like a pressure thing. But it kind of hurts, and that's not great probably. But this is kind of, I kind of, you know, same thing here. You get the bat to bite you. You get the bat to bite your finger. Where is he? Yeah, like that. That's funny. He eats you. Yeah, so that's personally, that's going to give me personal points. Or it's going to give him personal points, even if it's not as objective. Range. I think the range is similar to Kabuto, I think. Yeah, I'm going to say similar to Kabuto because you can hold him in your hand. Oh no, that's not what that is though, isn't it? Range, I think because you can open up the mouth, I guess is what we're looking at here. It is, the range is kind of low, but it does its job. Oh, pardon me. It does do its job in terms of fidgeting. So I think I'm going to give it... I will give it a... I'll give it a 3. Fuck it. Middle of the ground, but erring towards good. Snappiness. I'm going to... Personally, this is where I'm going to insert snappiness. Snaps onto your hand, onto your appendage. Because that's what it was made for. I'm going to give this... I'll give it a 5. Fuck it. Personal, this is just personal preference, but that's a 5. Accessibility. This I'm going to give it a 2 because it is a fucking bat. There's a lot of bumps. And you need to kind of be aware of, you know, there's the ears, there's the feet, there's the wings. There's a lot of things that your fingers can get caught in when you're holding it. Regardless of it being, you know, designed to be holdable. It's designed to be holdable in the very specific situation in which you are transforming into Kamen Rider Kiva. So that's going to be pretty low, but not the lowest because you can still. The noise, it does have a crunch noise like come out of a speaker. I don't know if you can turn that on. I don't know if he showed that you can turn that on or not. Hold on. Was that an on noise? That noise, that might be turning it on. If it is, then that's fine. Otherwise, you have to deal with that shit. That fucking wee woo wee woo wah woo wee. That's a bit annoying. That can get a bit annoying, I'd imagine. If you can turn it on, I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. If that first sound was you being able to turn it on, that's going to give it points. If that's the case, that's going to be a 4, I think. Because you still got that. Well, actually... Yeah, I'll give it a 4. I think 4 is fair. Well, no, because like... Because the whole thing is that like it bites you, and that's part of the snap, I think, right? We've given it such a big snap that the noise is also going to be accompanying that. I think because, okay, because I want to give it a 4 and I have no, because I'm uncomfortable with it giving it a 5, even though realistically I think it probably is a 5, but for some reason I'm kind of on the edge of that. I think because it's because it's voice acted, that shit's loud. Because it has a voice, that shit's loud. It has whole ass voice lines, so I'm just gonna keep it at a 4. Discreet, absolutely not. It is a fucking toy bat. It speaks. Look at those fucking eyes. The eyes light up. The mouth opens. That's zero. It'd be like you're actually in the show and you're carrying around like a little familiar. It like speaks to you. in real life. Tells you to, I don't know, stop procrastinating. All right, I think we're about, so this is the last of the quote-unquote Heisei riders before we get into the quote-unquote Neo Heisei riders, before we get into the Reiwa riders. Kamen Rider Decade. More cards. A lot of cards. This one has a lot of cards. I feel like that we kind of know where we're going with this, but because this is more as like a deck, I guess, there's a bigger range of movement. We're getting into the eras, baby. We're crawling through the unescapable passage of time. Give me 1 sec. Give me 1 second. Okay. It's very funny you say the I, and this is something that I'm realizing as you say this, but that big thing, and I guess I never realized that that thing in the middle is kind of meant to be, because this is an anniversary season, right? His whole thing is that he can turn into all of the primary riders of all the past series, or the past Heisei series at least. That's what these do. I guess because it's an anniversary series, I never realized that that's probably a reference to like the first belts, even up to Kuga. So yeah, probably. Let's have a look at how it works though. Deca Driver. Oh, we're actually playing our own music this time. That's fun. Okay, yo, you can turn it on, so that's fun. Put thing in thing. Okay, this movement is very satisfying. Not very good for fidgeting purposes, but this is very satisfying. Ready? Yeah. I love it when like things come together. Yeah, right? I think it's just all the things. Yep, okay. That's how the belt works. I don't know if it's going to be very good for the purposes of this, though. This context. I think... Well, okay, we need to figure out how we'll look at this, because if it's just cards, then this is going to be very, very easy. Because it's going to be... Like we've done cards before, we can kind of not necessarily do a lot of critical thinking about cards, because everyone knows what a card is. Kind of, I hope. I don't want to make generalizations, but most people, I feel like most people who are nerds know what cards are. That being said, the belt is very big and bulky and it's probably going to get low scores across the board. So I'm inclined to just look at, well, okay, we'll do a middle ground, right? We'll go one in the other and then go in the middle. Okay, right? Range. That thing fucking snaps pretty good. Well, that's snap, isn't it? Okay, snap, I think. The belt is high. Belt is a 5 because it makes like a very... It's a satisfying rotation. It all comes together. So the belt itself is a 5, but because it's a card, we're gonna knock it down. Let's mix them up. Remix. Snap was nice, but I'm docking it because cards. This is a very divisive device. We're gonna knock it down because of cards, so I'm gonna give it a 3. Accessibility. This is sort of the other direction, right? Because cards are the most accessible thing probably in the whole line of toys. Because they're made to be fiddled with. They're made to be shuffled. But also the belt is not. So we're gonna have to knock shit down for that. I feel like the belt, because it's more functional, it takes up a bigger chunk of the scoring criteria in this case at least. So accessibility is going to be down to a 2, because those 3, 4, and 5 are for the belt, and the belt is like the bigger half of this thing. Noise. This is 2 angles that we can approach this from as well, because the sound of card shuffling, I think, is very nice. I like the sound of cards like flipping, like ruffling through them. That's also very nice. I'm also now realizing that we are going from what comes in the box, and the box only has 10 cards. Not really a whole lot to shuffle or ruffle. So maybe that might bring it down, according to the criteria that I outlined, which oh my god, my microphone. What are you doing? Which we probably should be doing, because that's what this is about. So cards, good and bad. So that's probably going to be like a 3. And then paired with the belt, belt's pretty noisy. It goes decayed. So I think that's going to knock it down. So I'm going to set noise as... I'll give it a 2. Because the only thing going for it is that cards good shuffle, but then also not a lot of cards, and belt's big and bulky. Discreet, again, I think the cards are good. I think discreet's actually gonna be a 4, because in terms of like bringing it out with you, you can just do away with the belt, fine. Or you can just play with cards. Be like Gambit, cosplay Gambit, except with Kamen Rider cards. Kamen Rider Gambit, that's a cool idea. Someone's probably made that fan art somewhere. Yeah, I think that's good. Actually, okay, I'm giving it a 4 because I'm imagining like what happens if you drop all your cards and they go everywhere. And then people start to look at you. And then you're embarrassed and you'd be like, oh, I need to pick up all my cards. Don't mind that they've got like funny little suits on them. Funny little suit men hands. Hands? Faces. Helmets. Don't mind that. So that's giving it a 4. All that said, the range... I think range is just going to be very low. Because you're just putting one thing in one thing. Like that snap was good, but that is just one thing out of a whole set. So range, I'm probably just going to give it a 1. Given all of the parts. Those are kind of... That was graded very differently than I know that we've done it so far, but I think it warrants it. Double driver. This is the one, this is the first one that we have seen that I actually own in real life. And I have some opinions on this, but we will go to the video first. This is also, it has multiple parts to it, but I think this one's going to be easier to talk about. Oh my god, music. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is the new format where this guy like does all of the things. Like it does all of the upgrades and then puts it in the belt every single time. Where's the fuck is Cyclone Joker? Just give me the fucking thing. Here we go. Oh my god. Well, I guess no, this is fine because you do get the first 6 in the box. So you get Cyclone Joker, Heat, Metal, Lunar, and Trigger in the box. Come on, just snap it open, my guy. There we go. It just keeps going. Give me the... Okay. Fucking, I do not like this format, but that's not what we're here for. Here we go, okay. I'm gonna make some noises. Depending on what you put it in. Okay, that's enough. So I want to talk about this because... so all of the sounds come from the sticks, the USB looking fuckers, and you cannot turn them off. They have a single button that you press, and there's a speaker, like you can see that there's a speaker on the top of each one's up the top here. So there's a button here that you hit to make it say the thing, and then there's a speaker up top. You can't turn this off, and that's this. All of the sounds come out of there, so they have to be loud. So I think noise already is going to be low. I guess we can do that now. Noise can be low because you cannot turn that shit off. Even when like you snap it and it snaps open, the sounds come out of the top. It just like reads it or whatever. So that's gonna be bad. These three, actually these two, I think are gonna be pretty good. Range of movement, it opening up like that, I think is a good range of movement. Because it like pivots in place, you know? It pivots in place. You don't have to like, how do I say this? It's not putting something in something else. Like the snapping open isn't. I know you have to put the stick in the thing, but moving it open isn't putting something in something else, and that is very hard. Well, that's very easy to like just snap it open. So I'm gonna give it a 4. I'm gonna give range of 4, and based on my own first-hand experience, I'm gonna give the snap a 5 because like turning that open is very satisfying. Accessibility, I'm giving it a 0 because the only way to get the 4 and the 5 up here is if you use the belt itself. And I think only using the belt is, as we've seen from like Kugu and Agato up the top, that's not what we want. The fact, so yeah, the fact that you need to, that it's the first part only that you get to use is bad. So that's a 0. Discreteness, I think, is also going to get a 0 again. The USB sticks, also the thing about the USB sticks is that, you know how I said about like the button being spring loaded in the first ones? That's what these are as well. These do not snap at all. These down the bottom. So that's getting a 0 just for the belt. Bad numbers. Bad numbers for this one, but you know, we gotta have some stinkers. Speaking of stinkers, I don't think this is going to be very good either. But we'll have a look at the video. I've seen this show. I don't have the belt. Wow, music. Okay. Check this out. So it's coins, right? Okay, that snap is pretty good. Okay, so that's pretty much it. We have a sort of a similar Deno situation where it's like you're not really making a whole lot of contact during the whole thing. Like you're just sliding along, right? To me, go back to here. To me, that is a bit too much movement. So I'm gonna give it a, I'll give it a 1. Because I can see how like sliding that across can be kind of satisfying, but again, that's a bit too much for like a fidget thing. So I'll give that a 1. Snappiness, I'm going to give it a 5 because first of all, putting the coins in is sexy, and then also turning it to the side is also kind of sexy, I feel like. So that's getting a 5. Accessibility, however, I'm going to give it Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I gotta calm the fuck down. Hold on. I've been speaking too fast for too long. The thing is that everyone has coins. They have traffic light coins. It's pretty funny. It's pretty good. It was a good show as well. But that's not what we're talking about. Everyone has coins. Well, not everyone has coins, but everyone, you know, unfortunately, we live in a society where money exists. So everyone knows what coins are. And everyone knows that coins are pretty easy to hold. Actually, we'll bump up. We'll give discreet a shot. We'll do discreet up to 4. I'll explain that in a bit. Accessibility, I think coins. The coins are easy to hold, but the coins are not the main deal of what you would do to actually fidget with it, which would be the ring, right? The ring to the side. That's what you'd actually use to like the hand thing, or like use the coins in the belt, right? So accessibility for the hand feel of the coins, I'm gonna give it the coins itself, I'm gonna give it a 4. I'm gonna bump it down to a 2, because you need to put everything else together to make it do good, right? It's the same thing for discreteness, right? You can use the coins. I guess you can fiddle with the coins in the same way you can fiddle with like a single card, but probably even worse because they're smaller and don't like bend very good. So you can do that. You can take them out with you, but again, having to put them in the thing and like use the thing, do the thing. Bump it to a 2, I think, actually. Complete opposite direction, now that I'm thinking about it. Noise, I think, noise will give it a 5, that just because it's good for the snap. Oh, we'll give it a 4 because it's still kind of loud, I feel like. All right, those are numbers. What's next? Oh, here we go. It's 4's time. It's space time, as he says in the show. This fucking guy is bulky, but we will have a look. I guess it's because it's meant to be like space. Spaceship. Spaceships are kind of bulky. We'll have a look. It's so chunky, dude. This guy uses the same 2 songs. Okay, he doesn't do a specific thing, which I will talk about, I guess, but... we'll just start off with what he does. Can I go to the thing, please? Okay. So these orange thing, blue thing, yellow thing, black thing, they all come out. Like they're not on the belt by default. So you have to slot them in, which I don't think he does in this video for whatever reason. But this is what you do once they're in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 1. And hit the thing. And then that's 4s. I don't think he... oh, what's this? He might put some other switches in. Take it out, put it in. Yeah, okay. That snap's pretty good. Yeah, the voices that come out of this are also pretty good. I think, okay. Snappiness, 5 out of 5. You can put the switches in, you can flick the switches on. That's how you do it. Snappiness, 5 out of 5. Discreet, 0 out of 5. Well, actually, you can take the switches out. Those switches I don't think are going to be any bigger than like the Fidget Cube or like the Q Ranger thing that I'm using right now. So I think based on that, you can completely just disregard the belt completely. Yeah, I think, okay, I think this is a specific situation where we can just disregard the belt because you can take the switches out. You don't need the belt for it to function properly, right? Snap is for, well, okay. No. 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 Everyone shut up. Discreet, yes. Snappiness, I'm gonna put it to a 3 because I think the thing is that each of these switches have a different thing on the top that you like press, and I don't think those are locked into place, right? Because this one I think you twist, this one you roll or something, I think. So I don't think they snap. But then again, not everything on a fidget cube snaps as well. So for that, I'm bringing it down to a 3. Well, actually, no. If they're not snappy, I'll give it a 2 because I don't actually know what these specifically are. I just know in the movie, the show, it just kind of is a thing that they do offhand. Range. This is a good range for a fidget toy, I think. This is very okay. This is very cube-like. However, I am not a huge fan. Like, the cubes are good, but considering I'm talking about like range and stuff, I think that there are things on the cube that I am less gravitated towards. Mainly the like the joystick type one, because I just want to keep going with that. I want to wiggle that a lot more. And this I think is kind of in the same boat. So I'm gonna give this maybe a 3. I'll give it a 3. I'll give it a 3. Actually, you know what? Since I'm so on edge, I'm gonna give it our second 0.5 of the day. Give it a 2.5 because I guess also because there are so many different types. I mean, so many. There's 4 that come in the box, and there's like a billion that come later. But since we're only looking at the box, and some of them may be better in range than others. Noise, I think, is a 5, specifically because if they don't snap, then they're not going to make a lot of noise. Actually, no. You know what? We'll bring it down to a 4, because also one of the things I don't like about the Fidget Cube is that sometimes, like, again, with the joystick one, maybe it's because I got, like, a knockoff, but like I think I got, like, a Kmart or a Big W one. But when you, like, twist the joystick, it does make kind of like a creaky noise, and that is not good to me. I don't know how much a like a spring-loaded thing in one of here, how much creak that would make, but just to be skeptical, I'm gonna bring it down to a 4. Still good, but you know, unknown to be better. Accessibility, I think I'm gonna give this a 4 again, because they seem to be good fidget toy sized, but again, these are made for kids. And I think this is one of the situations where because you put them in holes, they gotta be tiny enough to fit in holes. So maybe they're a bit worse than other ones, just because they gotta be that tiny. But these are good numbers, especially because this is probably my favorite Kamen Rider series, so I may be a little bit biased. But those are good numbers. Okay. Wizard. Let's have a look. I have no strong opinions about Wizard either way. I never saw the show. However, well, we'll watch the thing first. We'll watch it first. Just got an ad that said, "Congrats, you have a kitten." It was an ad for like pet food or something. Okay. Wizard. Okay, flick it. That's pretty good. Mouse doing the thing. I don't want all these. Just give me the base. Give me the fucking... There we go. Thank you for most replayed. Yes, get to it, mate. No, this is not... Are you kidding? It's like 2/3 of the way through the video where he actually does the thing. Okay. This is what I was gonna bring up. Because I know fidget rings exist, right? I think that's basically it. Yeah, okay, that's just the thing. So, I don't know if it was completely obvious, but those are rings that you know, you wear and then you just put your hand over the thing because it's like a hand, right? And I know that fidget rings exist, so I think automatically this is going to get a 5. Well, 4.5 because they're still kind of bulky, I guess. But they do exist. And the snappiness is also a 5 out of 5 because did you see how they came down like that? I think that was pretty good. Range of movement, I think because it's again like a revolution, it's like a 90-degree snap almost on the rings. I think we're just talking about the rings, yeah. We don't need the belt. We can use the rings independently of the belt. So range, I'm gonna give it, I think, a 4. That sounds fair to me. Because I feel like you could probably like bring it all the way around and that could still be kind of fun. But you know, we only got the 90 degrees and that's fine. It still does its job. Accessibility, I also think, well, okay. Again, this is a toy for kids. Kids' fingers are very tiny. And I don't know how well these would fit on big adult hands. So maybe I give this a 3. Because it is its function is to be worn, but not necessarily by the people who need them for this purpose, at least. Noise, I think, is also a 5 out of 5 because it's quiet enough for it to, you know, be inconspicuous. But you know, if you listen for it, there's that snap. I'm realizing the snap and the noise are very similar, and I just need to dock points for noise if the sound makes sound, which is funny. But yeah, this I think, this actually might give Hibiki a run for its money. I won't check now because that's for later, but we move on. Kamen Rider Gaim. This also I have in real life. I think this was the first belt I got because this was the first series I ever saw when I was a wee lad. So we'll have a look. I can already tell this is probably going to score mid to high based on my own personal experience. I swear, whenever I tab into the video, oh my god, dubstep. Whenever I tab into the video window, my tracking gets worse. I don't know why. Okay. Nice clean transformation video, please. I'm begging you. Yeah-huh. There it is. That's what I'm talking about. All right. This one is super neat. It's very fun. The gimmick is very fun. I feel like the show, like I enjoyed the show because I was a child and didn't have critical thinking skills. And I haven't really gone back to watch it because I've heard that from people who had critical thinking skills at that time that it wasn't, you know, as good as it could be. But that's fine. That's not what we're here to talk about. So the fruits, okay, the fruits. Noise, I'm going to give it a 4 because A, it's loud, but it's satisfying, and I know that you can turn the fruit sounds off. Like you can turn the things that come out of the speakers, you can turn them off. So that's good already. Again, we're just talking about the fruits. The belt doesn't fucking matter, even though the knife is cool. Also, fun fact about the show, this was written by the writer of Madoka Magica, which was also, I believe, inspired by Kamen writer Ryuki because they have very similar plot points. So that's fun. This one did also get kind of dark at the end. But yeah. Yeah, right? Accessibility. These feel very good. I did take everything out before, so I could like give you examples on how they sound on stream, but a lot of them like are broken. like I had the orange, like I have the orange one to bust out, but it's just broken. It doesn't close anymore. Like it just stays open, like the lock just stays open. These are meant to be like locks, by the way. I don't know if that was obvious by how it worked, but these are lock seeds. And you lock them on. I guess it did say lock on. But yeah, it's just broken, so I can't really demonstrate that. But yeah, accessibility. They are meant to be held. They are meant to be held, but they are kids' toys. So I'll give it a 4. Also, I like personal thing is that I like to stick my finger in the gap between fruit and thing. I like to stick my finger in there, and that's kind of a small thing. It's kind of a small gap. So I'm going to knock it down to a 3 for that because I have personal beef. Range of motion. I think range of motion is 4 out of 5. This thing pops up a lot more than you would think, and pushing it back, like I push it back down with my thumb a lot of the time. And that kind of motion, it's good resistance as well. That kind of motion is it feels very comfortable. Snap is a 5. It is literally made to snap open. Discreet, I'm gonna give it. I'll give it a. I'm gonna go 1.5. I feel like, because it is small enough to not be too conspicuous, but it's also large enough to. They're also very bright. Is the thing. They're all very bright fruit colors. Especially the ones that you get in the box. So that's gonna knock it down. Again, that's also a noise thing because when you pop it open, it is very loud because there's this whole thing that needs to unlatch, I guess. So those are those numbers. Those are those numbers. All right. You guys like cars? Up to drive. Well, we'll see. I think this is going to be another thing where you are not going to need, like, we're just going to, I think, be looking at these, to be honest. But we will see. We'll have a look. Player and music. Okay. Sorry, Mr. Belt. He smiles. He frowned. He's frowning because we're getting rid of him in this context. I forget that he makes faces. It's a fun face. I like that jingle. That jingle in the show is very fun. Alright, so that's the main thing, I guess. Did he? Okay, hold on. Please show me the car. I don't think he's gonna... Oh, please show me the car, please? Because you can... Like, this car twists. I'm pretty sure that that twists. Like, this back end. Because that's how you, like, I guess, make the handle to push it forward in the wrist thing. And that's really the only thing that I think we're gonna be going off. But twisting is fun. Twisting as a fidget is fun. Oh yeah, see, because they're like... Oh, they did? Okay. I guess it is very quick, because it's like the one... It's like the worst... Not the worst, but like the least important element of the whole transformation. Yeah, because they're like... They're normal here, and I guess they've twisted in the thing. That's fine. Range of movement, I think range is a 5. Because you can spin that shit around the whole way. Or if not the whole way, then at least 180. And that's, as we've said, that's already a 5 in my books. So that's fine. The snappiness, I think, comes specifically from using it with the belt and the wrist. So I don't think that this is going to have any points, really. Not even 1, sorry. The twisting mechanism is cool, but yeah. No snap, I don't think. Accessibility. It is a toy car. It is a toy car made for children. I'll give it a 3. Because toy cars are still toy cars, right? I think you can play with toy cars as a... There's like a enthusiast community out there for that, surely. So they're probably still in circulation. I think that's fine. Noise, I think I'm going to give it... Well, I'll give it a 4 because, again, with the snap, like, you want a little bit of noise because that's satisfying with the snap. But in terms of, like, obnoxiousness, again, there's nothing to turn off. There's no speakers on it, so that's good. Discreet, I think... Discreet, I'm going to give it a 4.5 because these things seem fucking tiny. Like, you could literally, like, grasp them with a fist and it'll cover the whole thing. So you don't even need to... It doesn't even need to be visible. But also, they are very brightly colored. So, you know. It may draw some attention if they're left out to dry. If they're left out to be visible. So that's fine. That's good numbers. We're blast. I feel like we should blast through these last couple because last few. How many we got left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Fuck, 8, 9. We have exactly 10 left. I do want to kind of blast through these because my throat is fucked. So we'll keep going. Ghost. I feel again we're going to be looking at these guys. Here's the thing. Can I crop you? Crop, please. I have these. I have a couple of these. I do not own the belt. Yes, this is Spooky Eyeball. This is very eye-themed. I have the belt. These are called icons, by the way. EYECONs. I have a couple of these. I don't have the belt, but that's fine because we can just look at these by themselves as we have been doing. My god, ad. Shut up. Hello? Please load. Okay. This might be another one where he does like every single fucking icon and then puts it in at the end, but maybe not. Okay, so there is a thing on the side. Okay. So that's it. That's pretty simple. The clicky. I feel like, okay, the thing about what I'm doing here today is a lot of this is speculation, right? I don't have a lot of these belts. I only have a fair few. I only have a fair few toys. That seems, well, I guess it doesn't even seem that snappy. It's not that snappy. I think it's like spring loaded as well because it's a spring to like turn the thing, to like turn the inside of it. And that does, I don't know, it seems kind of flimsy to me. It is kind of flimsy in real life. So that's going to dock points from snap. However, I think for discreteness, it's a similar thing with the cars because you can kind of cover them with your whole hand and you can use however many fingers you want or whatever fingers you want to press the button. I am going to bump it down though, I think, because they are slightly bigger than the cars. So we'll give it a 4. Whoop. What a 4 out of 5 for discreet. Noise, we'll give it we'll give it a 4. Because, you know, because the snappiness is terrible. It does still have a button that does something, so we'll give it a 1. But the snappiness is terrible. But because the snappiness is terrible, the noise is pretty good. Because it doesn't draw a lot of attention. Accessibility, it is very round. There are some bumps, but it is very round. And it is made to be held and push the button. So I'm going to give it a 4. At range of movement, I think I will give it a 2. We'll give it a 2. The movement happens mostly inside, so, you know, there's not really a lot for you to twist or twiddle. That's fine. We're blasting through these. Okay. Another one I have in real life. This is the full, I have a full one of these in real life. I have some things to say about this as well, but we will cut to the video. I go to a separate tab because this one is apparently made for kids and was not able to be put into my my playlist. The gamer one, literally called the gamer driver, which is very funny. Let's go. I love Splatoon. Splatoon 2 colors. Alright, that's all that comes in the box. So I have a couple of things to say as someone who owns this. First of all, we can stay on this for a second. I guess, again, we can only look at really the thing that you hold. This button right here is not snappy at all. It is, I feel like, spring-loaded. It just hits it just bounces to hit the sound cue, I guess. So snappiness, I'm going to give it no. It distinctly does not snap. The snappiness only comes with opening the belt, which, you know, as we've done when there is a trinket, we disregard the belt. Well, I guess no, we didn't do that with Decade. But that's even worse. Yeah, I'll give it a 0 because that's not, again. All right, I think we're gonna have to treat this similar to what Decade was like, because there is so much more that you can do. Like, the majority of it happens in the belt, but you wouldn't be taking the belt out, right? You wouldn't be using the belt independently. So in terms of the snap, maybe I will give it a 1 because the belt is like overly snappy. It's like way too snappy when you turn that handle and pull it out. The noise is a 0 because you cannot turn that shit off. You hit the button is the only thing on this, you cannot turn it off. And also it is the only thing that like the belt doesn't make any noise. So this shit needs to be loud as hell. So that's why it's getting a 0. The only noise that comes out of it is speaker. Accessibility, this I would say gets a 4 because it is tiny, but there is literally, hold on. Hold on, I may need to leave the computer for 1 second. Check this out, I got one of these. Okay, I'll be back in a second. You know, there's like thunder outside. What the hell? It's gonna probably start raining soon. Hopefully, that will not pose a problem. Where the fuck was I? Yes, there are handles. But again, made for children. So for that, what the fuck did I give it? Accessibility for, yes, there is a handle, there are holes, there are grooves for fingers. It is made for children. But I think the fact that they thought about the hand feel makes up for the fact that it is small. Range, I think I'm gonna have to give it a 1, but for completely opposite reasons. The trinket itself has no range of movement. The belt has too much. It's like a kabuto thing. You're pulling the handle from one extreme side of the belt to the other, and you can't do shit with the hand thing. So that's getting a 1. 1 because you can move the belt. Discreet. Look, we'll give it a 2. Because it is tiny. This thing is tiny. But again, one bump of that button and you're gone. You're fucked. You're done. Because you can't turn that shit off. And it's also very bright. And there's also lights that come out of the clear bit. So yeah, you're cooked if that happens. Cool. Those are numbers. I like those numbers. All right. Another top tier series. We've got Build. I also have this one in real life. You can kind of tell that there's a line of I think 3 of these that around this era was when I really got into actually getting the belts. So I have quite a few in this sort of chunk. Let's watch Build. Let's see what Build's up to. got my... Turn that, turn my browser source on a bit too early, but that's fine. I also have some things to say about this. These little fuckers. I mean, the belt movement is just a formality at this point. Okay, build. So build just comes with those 2 bottles. They're called full bottles, by the way, because they're meant to contain. It's sort of like an kind of like an alchemy thing. Well, you like mix substances or whatever. I guess I couldn't find a photo of the shakers. The shakers are fun. I've definitely used these for this purpose before. For this reason, okay. The shakers are fun. The shakers are very satisfying. I enjoy the noise. If I had people around me, they would not enjoy the noise. Because you can shake them as loud and hard as you want. So I think because it's so customizable, I will give it a 5. Discreet, I'll give it a 3. They're small, and again, the noise, it still makes noise. Like, there's no way you can play with it without it making noise, unless you twist the tops. But the thing with the tops is that they don't snap very well. So I think I'll give it a 1 because they do lock in place. Like, they do lock, hold on. Like, you can twist them. But see how these caps, like the logo lines up with the middle of the bottle? Like, that does lock. But it doesn't lock, like, super satisfyingly. So because it does lock, I'll give it a 1. It doesn't snap, but it does lock. Accessibility. These things are tiny. Maybe too tiny for some. You do kind of have to grip it with your, like, thumb and 2 fingers, like 2 front fingers. But they are bottles. You hold bottles in real life. So I'll give it a 3, just because they're tiny. The range of movement, I think they are shaky, right? They are shaky, but you don't move that part with your hands. I think I'll give this a 3.5. I'm busting out all the 0.5s now, hey. Guess I just don't care anymore. Okay, I like those numbers. Okay, GO. These are very interesting. I've got another thing here. Okay. Are you making noise? Yes. Okay. See already that? That snap. This one's cool because you just time it. Just that's a full 360. That snap is good. Unfortunately, we don't need to talk about it because this snap is also good. That's Geo. Yeah, okay. We'll just talk about the watch. This is going to be pretty high up there, I feel like. Because in the show, right, you do only use your like thumb to twist it, and that's good in a fidget toy. You don't have to like that's accessibility, range, and snap. I think are all like top tier, right? I think we just give them 5s across the board here, because these are made to be like fiddled with your thumb, right? Noise, I will give it a 3 because that shit is loud. This one is nice. Noise, it is a 3. Discreet, I'm also gonna give it a, well, I'll give it a 2.5. Whenever I'm tossing up between two numbers, I'm just gonna 0.5 it. I'm not gonna fucking rack my brain over it. Because it is kind of chunky, right? Like, yes, you could hold it, but there are all these grooves and these like this whole front face like moves, right? So you can see that rotate if you're looking for it. So that's that, I think. A lot of these like, if these are good, or even if these are good and these are not, I would use them at home, you know? A lot of these, you know, would have a lot higher scores if we didn't count like, oh, you need to be an adult and go outside sometimes. Okay. 0-1. We'll have a look. We'll have a look and form some thoughts. We're in Reiwa now, so this is good. We only have like, this is like the 3rd era. We're only halfway through it in real life. I also own this one, so I can have some things to say. There he is. Lol. Can you do the thing, mate? Jump. Okay. 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 Shut the fuck up, please. Use the belt. Please just use the belt. Please just use the belt? What am I looking at? Oh my god, why are you doing reviews now? This is not what I'm here for. Okay. Do the thing? What are you... Okay. This is drawn out for too long. I feel like we have the... Oh, here we go. The whole shebang. Alright. Alright. That's the whole thing. Shut up. Okay. So... Again, I guess we can just talk about... The key. Looks like a cassette, lol. Alright. Range and snap. Okay. Snap. So I own this one in real life. I've used it to fidget with multiple times in my life. I'm gonna give range and snap, I think, both a 5. Because it goes, like I said, 180 degrees. And and it locks in place very well. When you, either way, when you bring it back, when you open it up, it locks in place very well and it's very satisfying. Accessibility, I'm gonna give it I'll give it a 3. Because you can use it with one hand. The main writer in the show uses it with one hand. But it's very, you need to learn it. Like you need to, I don't have the fucking thing open. Whoops. You need to learn it. Because you need to like flick it open with your thumb in like kind of like a way that you like twist it as well, twist your wrist with it as well. So yeah, you can't really, otherwise you're like picking it open with two hands, which is not great. So yeah, once you learn it, it's fun and it works. Noise, you cannot turn this off. Again, this is one of the ones that the speaker, you cannot turn it off. But the noise, the clicky noise is satisfying. You can't turn it off. I'm gonna give it an even, I'll give it another even 2.5. Two very juxtaposed facts about how it works. Discreet, nah, dude. It is kind of tiny, but it is really, it's rectangular. And like, especially once you flip it out and it becomes like twice its length. That's a no from me, boss. I give it a 2 because there are bigger ones out there. Okay. Saber. This one has a sword. This one has 3 pieces. Three of them. Hold on for ads. Okay. There's so many moving parts. That's nice. That's always the meme about this one, is that the henshin just takes so long because there's so much like literal actual narration, like storybook reading narration. You do put an actual book on there, because the whole thing is like stories, like fantasy story type thing is the. I love it when Kamen Rider series combines like two completely unrelated, I guess Toku series in general, combine two complete Yappa Henshin, right? It's so funny. I think the main guy works at like a bookshop or something. I think I saw the first like 2 episodes of it. But it's meant to be like storybook, fantasy sort of motif. Yeah, when shows combine two like completely different motifs to give the show's motif, like how you know, King Oger is bugs and monarchy. Like that shit's funny. Like that's how to make a tokusatsu show one-on-one. Take 2 things, just pick 2 things out of a hat and put them together. I like when that happens. All right, let's talk about it. I think we can just talk about the book by itself because that's what I would use in my everyday life. I think Range and Snap, I think again, both getting 5 out of 5. Because it's a 90-degree revolution when you open it up. And it snaps open very well, as we have seen, I think. Accessibility, yes, because you can just use your thumb, I think. You can hold it and just flick it open. It's like the 0-1 thing, but like better, because you don't need to like twist. You need to do like a weird twisting motion with your wrist. You just kind of flick it. Noise. Okay, I need to go back to this because I don't know if when you flick it open, does it automatically start narrating? You do hit a button. Okay, yeah. So this is the problem of whether you're able to turn it off or not. My guy didn't in the video, so I'm going to assume no, because he's like turned things on and off before. In that case, if whenever you flip it open, it starts yapping, that's, I think, gonna have to be a 0. And also a 0 for discreet, I think, because that's just fucking wild. Especially because it goes on for so long. I think that's fair. Like snap and noise, unfortunately, this is a very funny instance where these two are very different. All right. Revice. This one's gonna be fun. I think this one's gonna be... This one we're gonna have to go back to the old ones where you can't really just judge. Like most of the stuff happens on the belt. In this setting, in this instance, we're not really going to be able to treat it the stamp thing or whatever on its own. Oh, you know what I've done here? Is these last few are all in the one video, so I'll get that up. CL time. Stamp time. Okay, give me 1 second. Here we go. Ah, shut up. We're not looking at you. Okay, yeah. See, it's just a... That's just a button. Okay. Okay, so... I think for the purpose of this, because I think, whatever, like 3 out of the 4 actions you take to transform with this are on the belt itself. We can't really just look at the stamp by itself. That is just one whole button that you press on the top. So, range of movement, I think for what it is, I think let's just go, you know, straight up. I think discreet and noise are at a 0, because if you're just having to use the belt the whole time, that's pretty bad. I assume you can turn the belt on. I don't know if you can turn the stamp on or off. Accessibility, I guess this stamp looks like it feels good to hold. You hold stamps in real life. That's how they work. So I guess for accessibility, we'll give it a 2, because the stamp is only part of the thing, and then you have to put the belt on. The snap is very good. That shit rotates like in a diagonal direction, which is fun. So I think range and snap are I'm gonna give it give range a 4, because while the diagonal snap is still cool and fun, it's still a bit much, you know? Snap I'm gonna give it a 5 though, because when that completes its revolution, its rotation, and that's sexy. Cool. Big on some, not on the others. That seems to be kind of a theme, I think. Yeah, look at look at this shit. All right, we're almost there. We're almost up to date. Let's check out the Desire Driver. Oh, it is really thundering outside. I have no idea if that's showing up, but... All right. There's so many parts to this that we need to consider. Okay. So again, we'll think about what comes in the box, because obviously if you know Geats, there are so many other things that you can attach to that belt. But I guess we kind of have to split our discussion between the Boost and Magnum buckles. Me, when I want to call something, call that Geats dinner. Now there's girl dinner. No, that Geats dinner. I've considered actually doing that before in real life. Okay. I think there's also a hammer. I guess they've got the hammer thing, but that's like nothing. You just whack that on. So I think we're only just gonna talk about Boost and Magnum. The Geats treats? That's very fun. That's my go-to. Whenever whenever I like go get food like once after a thing, and I have to do that thing a lot of the time again, like if it's a weekly thing, I always have to go get that same thing to eat. Next time I go to work, well, no, there's not really anything near my work. But if I ever do a weekly thing and then there's a Boost and the fucking, like, I don't know, 7-Eleven nearby, I'm gonna make that a ritual. I'm gonna get so like unhealthy with the ice cream, but then balance it out with the fruit juice. So I basically have nothing at all, right? I basically just stay normal. Okay. Range of movement. I think the Magnum... Hold on. Let's just do this. Magnum is good because it just rotates. You can do that however many times you want. Boost, you twist. Still good. Not as good as Magnum. So I'm gonna cut exactly down the middle. Oh no, because Boost is still kind of good, so we'll give it a 3. Snap. Boost opens up very good. Geat spins around very good. Sorry, Magnum spins around very good. I don't think it's as snappy per se. I've seen someone, but does it open when you twist? Even if I think it does. I think it's just a mechanical. I think it's just like a mechanics of the thing. I mean, I don't own it. I haven't seen it, but I imagine all of the buckles just work independently of each other. Knowing what deducing what I know about things already that open from the belts I have. Still. I think independently or not, it's still a good snap. I think I've seen someone mod the Magnum buckle. They like actually took it apart and like made it snappier inside. So it like they've like, I don't know how they did it. They like might have put more ridges in or something that made it like more satisfying. So I think automatically we have to dock points for it not being as good as it could be. But the Boost opening is good. So I'm gonna give this... I'll give it a 3.5. Accessibility. There are handles. I guess in this case, you would be using your entire hand on the handle and not necessarily be having enough to push the button in Magnum's case and like twist it. You can't really twist something without holding onto it. I think the most you can do is hit the button on Magnum with your index finger. So I think accessibility, I'm going to give it a 1.5. I'm busting out all the 0.5s for this last one. It's going to make it hell to calculate. But that being said, I know which ones I'm going to have to check up on in terms of what the top 3 is going to be looking like. I was going to set up like an Excel script beforehand, but I didn't. So I'll just have to deal. Noise. I think noise is fine. Noise can get a 4 because I think yeah, that'll be a belt thing, right? Because it only makes noise once you plug it in, and then when you use both of them at once, it has their own jingle, right? Boost and Magnum. So I think noise is fine. You just I guess have the kind of clickiness of spinning the Magnum wheel. So I don't know if I should dock points for that. I think a 4's fine. Maybe 3.5. Maybe 3.5. Discrete, absolutely not. Those things are massive. Like I said, the whole handle, the handle's just here. You got all this shit sticking out on the side. That's not good. That's not good trying to take it with you somewhere. All right, Geets. Thanks, Geets. 2 left. Gotchard. Let's have a look. You could clobber someone with those. That's anti-discreet. I pull up to Fight Club with my Desire Driver. Cards, again. I think you also get 10 cards in this box. Like Decade. That snap's nice. Here's the thing. Oh, spoilers. Here's the thing. I feel like this instance is practically identical to Decade, right? 10 cards that only really... 5 cards? Oh, I guess you only get 5 cards. That's even worse. It's similar to Decade in that you do get the cards and they're fine, but they only work well with the belt, right? And the belt's the least discreet part, especially there's so much lights on this one. This one's so rainbow multicolored compared to a lot of the other ones. I'm gonna go back up to Decade, see what we did. And see how well it transfers over. I'm just gonna copy and paste these and then we'll see what we need to change. Okay, here's what we have for Decade. Range, I would also say... I think 1's fine, because yes, the cards. Happy Pride, gotcha, but not now. No. This is not... I was gonna say something, like, jokingly homophobic because I have the pass or whatever, but this is twitch.tv. I don't want to get flagged or whatever. Range of movement I think is bad because first of all, cards you can't really move without, you know, shuffling them or picking them up or whatever, and with 5 cards that's not really very good. And also the belt doesn't have that whole range of movement. At the most it's like half a card's worth of movement, right? Because you put the cards in and you shuffle it over. That's not a whole lot. Oh, pardon me. That's not a whole lot. So I think 1 out of 5 is fine. Snap, I'm inclined to, also for the same reason, bring it down to 2. Because while Decade's belt rotates 90 degrees, this one just moves in, like, barely even, I don't know, lengths, but definitely, like, more than 5, less than 10 centimeters, maybe less than 5, I don't know. So I'm happy to bring that down. Well, the snap sounds good, actually, so maybe it's a 3. Maybe it's a 3. Accessibility, I'm happy with 2. Cards and belt. Cards are fine. Belt is big. I'm happy with that. Noise, I'm also happy. This is, yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Discreet, discreet. This is gonna be funny. I'll bump it up to 4.5 only because there are less cards. So if you drop them in public, it's gonna look less, not less weird, because you're still dropping cards in public, but you'll have to spend less time scrambling to pick them up, is what I'll say. So that'll be that. All right, those numbers are fine. Last belt. And I don't really know how. Well, we'll have a look. We will have a look. Yeah. Okay, so... Oh, shut up. Okay, so the thing is that I'm wondering, which I don't know because I don't have this belt. We kind of want it though, but money. It seems to me like there's some mechanism in the belt that makes the... Hold on, whoops. There's some mechanism in the belt that makes the gummy friend pop open, and I don't know if that's easily doable with just a finger. Because it does seem that something is stuck in there that pops it open, so I don't know. I'm gonna base it off what I do know. And what I do know is that the belt opens the friend. So based on that, I'm going to give accessibility a 1. You can still kind of twirl it around in your hand, I guess. I guess discreet, I'm going to give it a 5 because you can just like hide it in your hand. It's that small. You know, make a fist around it, whatever. Snappiness, again, in context with the belt, I think is probably a 4.5 or a 5 because it opening up like that quickly is very snappy to me. But because I don't know if you can do that in real life, I'm going to drop it down to like a 2, I think. Range of motion's a 1. Well, no, I was going to say like twisting the thing and having the mouth go up and down. That's pretty movementy, but for the purposes of this, absolutely not. So I'll give it a 1. 1 because it does move. The 4 other is because it doesn't move to what we want. Noise. If you're just playing with the friend, I don't think you need to turn him on. You can turn the belt off. But if we're looking at just the belt, I think it's gonna have to be... Oh, it's our last number. I'm blanking. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Noise will be a fucking... I'll give it a 2 because you can turn it off. But when you turn it on, there's just so much happening. Fucking clown music. Then it goes, wah! This is the first... I think it's the first belt where our gimmick, like, screams when you open it up. That's fun. Okay, I think... Holy shit, it's been almost 3 hours. So, I'm gonna be back as soon as I can. The absolute quickest that I can. It just yells. It just squeals. It just screams. And like all of them do that. Yeah, I'll be back in a bit. I'm gonna type up some numbers manually because I didn't put together an Excel spreadsheet. Cool. All right, I'll be back in a bit. Oh my god, you guys. We've done it. I've learned how to do basic addition. Alright. So, the results were actually kind of surprising to me because I I forgot what I did for a lot of these. So this is going to be very fun to go through. Can you hear that fucking thunder? It's just getting louder. Holy shit. 1 second. All right. So I have the top 3. I have the top 3, which I will present in ascending order, I guess. So we'll start with number 3. Number 3, we miraculously actually have a 3-way tie with a score of 17.5. These are all out of 25, by the way. Reminder. With a score of 17.5 out of 25, we have Fours, Gaim, and 01. For different reasons, I guess. 3 for 3. So true, actually. Fours, Gaim, 01. These make sense. Fours are basically fidget toys already. Yeah, I guess they're all small. They're all tiny-ish. I just said small and tiny. What does... Okay. Yeah. I guess this makes sense. They're still kind of big enough to not take top spot, but you know how it is. All right. Easy. Number 2. With 20.5 out of 25. GO. This makes sense. This was definitely the clickiest, the most satisfying, the most revolutionary in terms of, like, you know, 360, not necessarily good and new. Yes, this makes a lot of sense to me. This is the one, I think this is the one more than even the number 1 that I would use in my real life, just because it is, I can use my whole hand with it, and you will see what that means when we get to number 1. Spin click. So number 1. Oh, I wrote the number wrong. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Number 1, first place, only beating GOs by a single point with a score of 21.5. I was going to prepare a drum roll effect, but I also forgot to do that. So, Kamen Rider Wizard. As I said before, I guess it makes sense because fidget rings already exist. They're definitely the most discreet, the most, I guess, similar to actual things that you would wear in real life. I say that I would prefer GO because I am not really a jewelry person. And also I want my whole thumb to be, my whole hand to be occupied. But this makes sense to me. So I guess the message of all of this is that if you want to have a Kamen Rider toy or just a fidget toy, then you got. All right, I'm gonna see really quick how much of a DX Wizard driver goes for these days. Just because I am curious what the price is for maximum convenience. With DX Wizard driver for sale. Whoa. I know you heard that. That fucking snapped on the thing. $283 on Amazon.com, which is, I think, where most of them are listed now. Fucking hell. When was Wizard? It was right before Gaim, and Gaim was the first one I ever saw. Kamen Rider Wizard release date 2012. 12 years ago Wizard came out, so I guess that makes sense. It's now a vintage fucking thing. But yeah, $300 for a fidget toy. I that's a bargain for me. I've also heard that Wizard is not the strongest of seasons. Anyway, that's beside the point. That took a lot longer than I was expecting it to, but that was fun. That was very fun for me. I have one more slide left. That was fun. I don't know when I'm gonna be on this fucking website again, but I enjoyed it. Thanks, I guess. I don't fucking know, dude. I'm tired. I'm gonna go to fucking sleep. I'm not gonna go to sleep. It's 4:30 in the fucking afternoon. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed this stream. I want to do more, but we'll see how that goes. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day. Eat good food. Get some sleep. Get good sleep. Stay healthy. Have a good one. Yep, that's all. I don't know how to end streams. Bye.